Ladies and gentlemen, Mudahar, Sungrad, Hassan, Kakash. Yeah, I left Mudahar out of the last one. He's just like some ordinary gamer. Now I gotta bring him up because he's the engineer. I think it's his fault, you know? We were too hard on Mudahar, and he's like working with all this AI and stuff, and we called him out. Well, I didn't call him out. I was just laughing at him. Shit. He's like, yo, I own all these things and do all these things. And I'm like, I'm the main man and shit. And I'm like, I. And then people like, I honestly think that the reason why they went after Mutahar so hard is that Mutahar not only did that thing with what's his face, fucking the guy with like I honestly always mistaken it for like a Bleach avatar, but it's not, and I forget his name. Something about like forget it. And he was looking at lolly porn, which is like, child hentai porn together. It's like that's his version of like the Epstein scandal, and that's why like they went on and on and on because it's just like, yo, you're supposed to be an engineer. We just needed a little bit of dirt on you so we could expose you and cancel you. You got canceled. Damn, that must suck. Like, I'm wondering, can I get canceled? Like, the only people who can cancel me are like, leftists, because I've been talking bad and also shit on YouTube, and I'm like, nah, they ain't doing shit to me. And I'm like, oh, I think this is my time. Everybody has like, a time on this earth, right? A time when they're going to get married, have kids, you know, take your first steps, hear your baby's first words and stuff, raise them through their lives, and eventually you pass on. You have your time. It was your time, right? Now it's my time. No, I'm kidding. Well, no, actually, it is. It is my time. Sorry, because I got to talk about the unspeakable topic. Oh, that's right. I'm going in. I'm going in hard. Remember when I said I supported Israel? I specifically said I supported Israel because of my affinity for the Jewish individuals I grew up with. I wasn't like necessarily super close friends with like a lot of them, even though a lot of them were like really nice with me, helped me study this that, right? Um, but you know what I mean, right? Like I'm more or less neutral with them, but this is going to blow the doors wide open because we got to talk about, and I'm glad that like I accidentally hit cancel on my record. It's just like a button on my PlayStation. And I canceled my whole 20-minute recording that I had before, but I'm like, oh, whatever. I'll just do it again. It's wasting more time, but as long as I don't render it, whatever, it's just me recording. So, let's get into the news. Chip prices are up, but this isn't just to the customer. It's B2B, meaning business to business. So if it's going to go up by 200%, so it's going up. The cost is going up by 100%. So the price is most likely going to be higher than 200% for the customer. Or even if you want to go and buy it online, I hear the stocks are out. I could be wrong, and Microsoft is getting pissed. They're getting pissed off at their staff. They're firing people because they want more of this RAM and they couldn't get any. And now they blame these people who couldn't get it. Like, we have unlimited money. How hard is it for you to get on an airplane? You're flying first class. Get on an airplane. Go to the, what is it, Samsung headquarters, or Hyperlinks is the other distributor. SK, so South Korea most likely, Hyperlinks. Although I could be wrong with that. It's probably like something else. But yeah, chips are going to be pushing us into, and I honestly don't see beyond like everything being ray traced, like what the point of upgrading to the next console would be. So it's like we get what ray traced everything. Everything's like reflecting. Like you'll have like a blade of grass and like a piece of like a droplet of water will fall on it, and then if you zoom in with like, your binoculars, you see like reflections everywhere. I'm like, what's the point though? Oh, dude. Um, but we gotta get into the whole idea that like, and I'm actually kind of happy that I'm recording this the second time because and I gotta look it up again. How much did they lose? Oh man, I used to love. Oh my god. Oh my god. I thought I just made that number up. No, it's true. I thought imagined it, and then I went on like these websites. Bloomberg wants me to sign up for some kind of subscription and shit. You know, go fuck yourself. Yo, Nintendo loses 14 billion in value as memory shortage fears continue to rise. So Nintendo has, I think, a Tegra NVIDIA chip inside of it. So I'm not saying it's significantly more powerful than the other consoles, but like there's a difference between NVIDIA and AMD, at least in the terms of shaders and like whatever. But like you're only gonna get so far if your CPU and your RAM is like meh, right? I don't even think it's meh. I think it's garbage. I think the Switch 2 is more or less a subsidized version of the Switch One, so that Japanese people can get like a cheap version of HD gaming without having to buy a PlayStation or Xbox, and then everybody else has to pay extra. But 14 billion, yeah, that isn't nothing. That's kind of like you would have been better off taking losses in the short term, maybe like a couple million, right? If you just released a better console, but like the title of this video says, losers lose harder. Yes, that's right. I was not even aware that Nintendo nickel and dimed as hard as they did. Like I heard that they were a greedy company, like they were going Disney, right? But get this. So Metroid Prime 4, not only is it selling you two toys, right? $30 American, so fuck. Canadians. Fuck. I hate my life. I hate my life in the sense that like every single thing, like you imagine you think you have like a lot of money and then you convert it into American and you're like, huh. So wouldn't that mean I'm like working minimum wage or close to it? And you're like, yeah, pretty much. Fuck, in Canada you can buy so much shit with it. Like what the fuck? The illusion, everything. Is this why our taxes are so high? Yeah, probably most likely. Because we gotta pay for everything that we get. We leech off of America, even though we pretend like we're fully independent. Yeah, okay, buddy. But more to the point, right? Um, so it's not just Nintendo, Microsoft, right? With their horrifyingly, you know, absent-minded idea that everybody wants to stream games. Let's put it all of our eggs into the Game Pass basket. I think they needed something like 10, no, 8 to 10 million users, so some really ridiculously high number in order for them to be profitable with this business venture, streaming gaming. And you think it just stops at that. So this is recent news, just recently today. Nvidia says, let's bring back the arcades. Like, oh boy, I can't wait. We're gonna have some new arcade games finally. Like we barely ever get like any of these new ones. No, I didn't mean it like that. We have a streaming service and you pay for, and it's like if you get the basic model, that's right, you gotta pay like extra for more time. So if you want more than 100 hours every month, right? And like to some people, it's like, how do you get 100 hours? You have no life, this and that. And it's like, okay, sure. Some people play at like night. Like I'm a night person, not just because it's like power is cheaper after 7 o'clock where I live, but also because it's like during the day I do actual shit, work, whatever, rendering, stuff that like I need to be like on my toes to do like right. So if I want to, sometimes I'll game in like 2, 3, 4 hours a night. Depends on like if I have like, and that's like the craziest. If you play online with friends and you have like a headset on, you do not keep track of time. Whatever, it just fucking flies away. Unless like some of my friends have kids, and that's usually like a means for me to be like, okay, maybe I should chill with playing online games so much. Actually, I kind of felt ashamed too because I was like so excited about the Monster Hunter Wild update, but instead of getting like a good, skill, it's just agitator element. I think I said that before, but I was disappointed with that, and I had to get a step away from my Monster Hunter Wild thing because I think that we're starting to feel the dilemma that the people who created the games that we enjoyed playing while we grew up, um, they're gone, dude. Not all of them, but most of them. And then what we got replaced with them was what, like they're just corporate, greedy, unskilled, untalented people. And I'm not saying that Monster Hunter Wilds falls into that category, far from it, but we're all feeling the effects. So back to Metroid. So on top of having to buy this motorcycle Samus riding thing to play music in the desert sections, you also need, yes, get this, unless you want to do something which is even more annoying, right? Like a kind of DLC, or should I say, yeah, it's a DLC because it's a paid for DLC, right? That will piss you off because, okay, what's the alternative to not having this? So either you want music or you pay me $30 for music, or because these are two different selectables, upgrades or whatever, right? So if you want the true ending, I'm serious. I'm serious. The true ending to Metroid Prime 4, you need to A, scan every single object in the game, or B, buy this toy for $30. So like, what the fuck? Isn't the game like $80? So if I'm not mistaken, it's probably like a third or a fourth toy, like 3 or 4 toys for this game. So you're basically paying more for like the unlockables in the game than you are actual for the actual game itself. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, losers lose harder. It's the title of this video that I'm making. So I was like wondering, like, why is everything so fucking shitty and bad? And like, like we don't have RAM, or we don't have like, you know, confidence in our future in terms of like, upgrading and progress. Like there's something eating away at this market, and it's AI constructs. Ugh, these companies, these gigantic corporations that have all the money, right? Car companies, everybody, and they want these chips. They want these, high speed, high thing, everything. But like in the short term, this is going to piss us all off because it's the lack of access, right? But in the long term, I'd say like 3, 4, 5 years down the road, these things are going to be stupidly cheap because it's like, the manufacturers were asked to like produce for all these corporations, these gigantic companies, and they're going to obviously have excess after a while, and then they're going to have to liquidate them. So they're gonna pass on the savings to us, and then like a few months later, come out with the next, the next upgrade, the next iteration. And who's the loser in that scenario? Oh my goodness, we all are. But why are we losers? What did I do to deserve to be a loser? Well, I did nothing. I spoke my mind, and I have a clear direction in my life of what I want to do. But apparently, not everybody has that closure. So what am I getting at? Well, I wanted to see what the fuss was all about, right? With these AI constructs. Oh, fuck, these drinks are there. Excuse me. And I subscribe to a guy called Jimmy Talks. Cool dude. He used to work as an EMT up until like the whole COVID, fiasco, the whole bullshit of the jab, and everyone's calling it out. It was just for corporations and governments to rule over you, to siphon your taxpayer money, to pay for a vaccine nobody really asked for with zero efficacy. So you're telling me that Joe Biden could get, probably like the best version of it, right? The best version of these vaccines, and the guy still comes down with COVID. So it doesn't even prevent you from getting the disease in the first place. It doesn't even help you treat the disease. Because he got COVID, then he had to go get more medical attention. You think, oh, I have COVID, but it's okay because I got the shot. No, dude. Losers lose hard. Sad because, like, I got the first 2 COVID shots because I was, like, afraid that they're going to push it on kids. But no, they wanted to push it on kids because there's more money. There's more money involved in it. Right? And I'm, like, wondering, like, well, how do the kids travel? Like, how do they leave the country and then suddenly contract this COVID-19 disease? How do they even get a passport and fly on a plane by themselves? Like some rich ass kid type shit. So I was like wondering, like, what is the point of all these AI constructs? What is the point of all this oversight and governmental control, and like, basically the the technocracy, if you will, like, how technocrats like view the world and stuff. And then I realized something. Why do we have all these attacks by Muslims in first world countries, right? So obviously it's the whole association of Israel and America. I think it's called the IPAC, if I'm not mistaken, or I think it's all IPAC, Israel America Partnership Agreement, something. And then I thought about it for a while, right? And in my previous videos, I often say that Israeli men, not Israeli, Jewish men, because the Israelis obviously have to, because they're reservists, that is part of their conscription, to go back to Israel and help fight Hamas and everybody else who are, illegally, whatever, just like entering into their territories and just like fighting them and shit. Using neighboring Arab countries to enter into their territories and this and that. And I asked this AI, and it told me everything I already knew. So, like I said, right? I said, because I don't believe in asking people in their 20s to throw their lives away, because it's like, whatever, dude. Like, for a fact that that's way too young. They probably, a lot of them might want to experience falling in love and, like, having a normal life, going to college, university, just stabilizing themselves. Whereas people in their 30s and 40s, right? If you, like I said, the stipulation was if you don't have kids, if you don't have a spouse, right? Fiance, whatever, um, just just go back and fight. But according to the AI, it has told me that it does not want to fight because it considers this war, um, you know, just burnt out. They don't feel as if they want to fight. And then I did the math, and it wasn't even a percentage, a single dot percentage of the Jewish population to go back to Israel and fight to help them defend their country. And that's why you have all these terrorist attacks all around the world. Blockades on the streets, people in crowds shouting "Free Palestine," even though they know fully well it's documented on video. They know fully well what these people did. Everybody knows it. I speak about it at length. So why is it? It is because the cowardice of these Jewish men to allow their countrymen to fight this war on their own. They could have easily reinforced Israel and made the Hamas capitulate. Guaranteed. It's like you see a bunch of new faces you've never seen before, and it's like you can see like the military ranks are swelling, superior technology. But no, instead, it's everybody. We're all paying our taxes to help defend cowards who are most likely, proud of the idea that everybody has to suffer on their behalf. But, even though I stand with Israel, the other Jewish men who lived a good life at our expense, they don't. For their cowardice causes the death of their own people. Ladies and gentlemen, take care.